Blog Talk Radio.
What do you do when you don't know? Just blow a gospel do-de-o-do. A Hoorah will journey with you to all the places on
Ready
the
to
go. What do you do when you don't know? Just blow a gospel do-de-o-do. A Hoorah will journey with you to all the places others won't go.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn, live with Ahura Z. Deliza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Ahura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. And now your host, Ahura Z.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ask the Unicorn. I'm Ahura Z. You are on the air live with me. For those of you that want to call in and have questions pertaining to the metaphysical, the spiritual, the paranormal, and the mystical, I will answer all of your questions with the exception of just a few, and we've discussed those before. Now, today is the 13th, or the 12th. I'm sorry, today is the 12th of the year of the horse, 2014, and we're here with Kazi. Kazi, say hello.
Hello, everybody. This is episode 20th.
Episode 20th. Episode 20th.
Okay. Episode 20.
And I'm kind of excited tonight. I'm excited most nights about the show, and this is a particularly exciting night for me because we have a couple of special announcements to make. So what I'm going to do is make those a little later. I know that many of you have questions, and there's some good questions. We've had some really great questions on this show. For those of you that are just joining us, if you would like to call in with something pertaining to the metaphysical, or the spiritual, the paranormal, or the mystical, you can call us at 718-664-9638. That is 718-664-9638. Now, this is the year of the horse, and we talked about that. We've been talking about it all month, as a matter of fact, and all last month as well. But this is a wonderful time for those of you out there that have a vision that you want to make manifest, to make it manifest. This is an excellent time for that, and I suggest to all of you to take the opportunity to make things come into fruition, such as a career or a life goal or a life path. You know, this is an excellent time for that because you've got the universal energy and the universal power that is backing you in your endeavors. The year of the horse is a very, very powerful, powerful, powerful year, and it's important for people to really understand and know that. For those of you that are just waking up to the spiritual, I understand, and you're just waking up and discovering that there are a lot of things that you haven't seen before that you are seeing. Please don't be alarmed by these things. You just need to be able to remain grounded and to know that there is help. There are many light workers that are out there. There are a lot of people out there that are experienced at doing what they do so that they can help you adjust to this particular period of awakening. And don't be afraid to go up to somebody that you know is doing that type of work and ask them some questions. And hopefully they'll be equipped to answer your questions, and they'll be quite willing to answer your questions. So we're going to talk about that a little later tonight. But right now, what I want to talk to you all about is understanding that we are all experiencing some really rapid growth. And that provides us all with an opportunity. That opportunity is for you to grow spiritually, mentally, and even physically. You just have to decide where it is you're going to put all of this energy that is in abundance at this particular time. For those of you that are having a little difficulty with things such as machinery, things such as computers, transportation, you're waiting on letters that just seem to take forever, you're getting from one place to another, and you're experiencing a little bit of trouble. Well, Mercury is retrograding, and since Mercury is retrograding, that usually has to do with things of a mechanical nature that have to do with communication and telecommunication and transportation. So this is the best way for you all to deal with that. Calm down. Okay? Just calm yourselves. You know, there's this one thing that happens to people that are trying to get somewhere in a hurry, and I used to call this a devil's maze because it's kind of like when you're on your way to work. You got 5 minutes to get to work, and you were supposed to be there 5 minutes ago. Well, what happens is every single light that there is along your way decides it wants to turn red and stay red for a really long period of time, or else you're following behind someone who happens to be driving a Volvo, and they want to make sure that they're driving extra slow because they've got nowhere particularly to go. So the road stretches out, and the more frustrated you get, the harder it is for you to get somewhere. So when you're in a period of Mercury retrograding, you just need to calm down and just be there when you're going to be there. And you need to have that resolve in your mind. And, miraculously, things will work out. All of a sudden, the lights will all turn green. You'll be out of that devil's maze, and you'll be fine. You'll get to work worrying about things, but you'll find that they will smooth themselves out. Okay, so remember another key thing, that communication is definitely paramount during a Mercury retrograde time. It will help you out. It will help everyone else out, and you'll all get along harmoniously. Now, let's move on to some of the questions that we have tonight. And what do we got?
This question is from Leanne via email, and she asks, my dad has always had premonitions and intuitions throughout his whole life. As he has become older, they have become more frequent. Does this get stronger as we get older? Is there a reason why this is happening more now than in the past? Thank you.
Well, that's a really good question, but I'm going to answer you this way. It's not that the visions happen more frequently. It's just that as you get older, you start to care less and less what people think about you when you're relaying a vision. So what I think it is that you get to this point where you say, look, this is what I see, and I spent my whole life trying not to say things to people or to say what it is that I'm seeing based upon what others' rules are. And as you get older, because I can tell you this myself, there was a point in time in my 20s where, I had to learn how to say things or learn how to relay a vision or learn how to give an actual recount of the vision that I was seeing. Well, what happened is, as I got older and a little more mature, and I am a little more mature now, I really just started saying the vision the way that it came out, and it's not that, I don't think that he's any more precognitive than he is, or he's seeing things anymore. It's just that now that he's older, he's less likely to buffer or filter, or I think what it is now is that he's willing to just say what it is. And now I think he also believes that people would be a lot more accepting, because now we have progressed. We are a lot better when it comes to things of a mystical nature or a paranormal or metaphysical nature. And we are a lot less fearful of what other people will think of us. So I think that's really what it is that he is less fearful or less worried about what someone will think of him. So I think that if you know that he's always had premonitions, he's just as precognitive as he always has been. Now there's less of him going, maybe I shouldn't say that. And, I even have visions of myself when I get like 90 years old. I'm going to go right in the middle of the mall and let out a really loud burp. And then when people are looking at me, I'll just turn and say, what? I'm 90 years old. I don't care. So I think that's more to the case. Sometimes you get a little more, you learn to describe them better. And they don't necessarily get stronger. You get stronger. You learn better. You get more mature. You're able to say things the way that you mean them. You learn to say what you mean and mean what you say. I think that's more of what it is. And I hope that helps you out. You might ask him directly if they've gotten more so. Okay? I hope that helps. All right, what's our next question?
Valentine's Day falls on the same day as the full moon this year. Is there anything special that can be done with the particular energy of both the full moon and the holiday? And it's also the Chinese Lantern Festival.
Okay. Valentine's Day is more of a commercial thing than anything else. I know that people put some inference onto it, and that's fine, especially for those that are trying to be romantic and all. But I don't really view Valentine's Day as a holiday, or a holy day. Valentine's Day is more something that people do because someone thought that it was a really good idea to turn people towards each other and say that this is a really good day to mate with people, or this is a really good day to pair up with people, and then all of a sudden the commercialism got a hold of it and it became something big. Now, if Valentine's Day to you means just a day of positivity, a day that you do celebrate if you are in a relationship, that's fine. Kazi said that it's another holiday, the Chinese New Year Lantern Festival.
Yep, it is the end of the Chinese New Year, and so we celebrate it with a dragon lantern festival.
Okay. Now, there's always something that can be done with a full moon as far as ceremonial. It just depends on what you choose to focus on. For instance, if you'd like to do something and you're in a relationship right now and you'd like to do something that will help solidify that relationship, of course you can use the energy of the moon. Now, understand, though, you're dealing with a day that is on the 14th, and you're talking about a 14-5 type of an energy, or 1-4 equals 5, 14-5, and that's a transitory energy, which better means that you would do something to help change yourself. So if you're looking to solidify a relationship or stay in a relationship, I'm sure that could happen, but you're talking about a transitory energy, which is really interesting that when that Valentine's Day falls on the 14th, and most people usually change things around that time, or they're just forming new relationships, or they're leaving an old relationship. But I'm sure that you can use the moon to help you, and you could use the universal forces to help you. Just, do something that is going to be very loving, very positive. Acknowledge the person that you're with, but don't just acknowledge them in the way that, hey, it's Valentine's Day, because if you were acknowledging that person all along and making sure that they knew that you loved them and they made sure that they loved you and you knew that and you acknowledge them daily, Valentine's Day wouldn't make any other difference. You would use that full moon just to celebrate that particular love that you have for each other. Valentine's Day does not mean love. Valentine's Day is something that someone thought was a great idea, and I happen to think it's a great idea too, but I acknowledge my wife every single day, and I acknowledge those people that I love every single day, and I make sure that they know that I love them every single day. So better to think of it this way. Celebrate Valentine's Day, but if you're going to start a celebration of a person on Valentine's Day, do it every single day. Don't just do it that particular day. And then, wait for the next year so you can get them another Valentine's Day present, which is, in the eyes of many people, a giant heart-shaped box of chocolate. And flowers and all kinds of wonderful goodies, and
chocolate.
Yeah, we know that, Kazi. I know that personally. Yeah, chocolate cupcakes, all those good things.
Pound cake.
Yeah.
With chocolate and strawberries.
What are you hinting? So remember, celebrate a person's love for you and your love for that person every single day. And I know that a lot of you, because I said that, will say, well, yeah, I acknowledge the person every single day, especially you guys out there. And the truth is you don't, because if you're making Valentine's Day a day any special than the other ones when it comes to love, you haven't been. So it's time for you to do that. So by all means, do a small ceremony for those of you that understand ceremony and understand ritual. Do a small ritual, but make sure you're willing to practice that ritual at any day, at any time, and at any moment. Start now. You might as well. But remember, you're dealing with a transitory energy, so it's a perfect time for you to change. So make your change that you're going to start acknowledging those that you love every day and treat it like you would on Valentine's Day. And for those of you that are single out there, you should do the same thing for everyone. Remember it. If you want to attract your dream person, you got to first be the dream so that you'll have something to attract you or to be attracted to. Okay, just remember that. And don't just use Valentine's Day. I get it. Valentine's Day has become very special to a lot of people. But like I told you, every day should be very, very special. So give them a heart, give them flowers, and then, make that something that you do as often as you possibly can. Those of you that are married, that are in a relationship, turn to that person and acknowledge them every night. Make sure one night doesn't go by without them knowing that you love them. Do things to make sure that they understand that. All right, I hope that does help you. Now, if you're looking for something that is in the realm of an actual, for those of you that are spell practicers, for those of you that practice different ceremonies. If you're looking for something like that, I do have something for you, and I will play something for you a little later. I do hope that helps you, though. Let's move on to the next question. All right. There are some people that are calling in right now. As a matter of fact, we don't have any questions in the chat room. For those of you that would like to ask your questions, please don't be afraid of asking your questions. For those of you that would like to call in, please give us a call at 718-664-9638. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to bring Elise into the studio. How you doing, Elise?
Okay, how about you?
Just wonderful. What can I do for you this evening?
Well, I have a really, really weird question.
Okay.
I have a cat named Ruggles, and we're pretty much spiritually connected. And lately, I've been seeing this, like, spiritual being over his head that looks like a person from another planet. And I don't really know what that means, but it kind of scared me when I first saw it, and it actually happened right after I watched a documentary about the Bermuda Triangle. And then in the spirit, I heard the voice come from that, like, that head or that vision that said, why are you looking into my race? And I didn't know what to say. I guess all I answered was, I'm just like curious about world peace, how to bring about world peace. And then it went away, but then it came back from time to time, and every once in a while I'll feel like someone's looking at me, and Ruggles is usually sleeping on in a cat bed on my desk while I'm painting, and I'll feel like someone's looking at me, and I'll look up, and there's that head that looks like a person from another planet on him again, looking at me, and I just don't know what it was or why it's like that or what to do about it.
Well, you know what's really interesting, Elise, is that I've heard a lot about extraterrestrial activity just as of late, you know, and so these particular types of questions don't surprise me. You may have tapped into something. You may have actually tapped into something or a dimensional place that just happened to be where your cat was. And when this particular entity, you know, spoke to you, it could have very well have been someone that was in between dimensions that actually was curious about why you would actually be interested in those of an extraterrestrial origin. So that doesn't surprise me at all because other people have given similar accountings.
Oh.
My thing is whether or not it's positive or a negative experience. If it's a positive experience, you've really got nothing to be afraid of. Okay?
Well, I'm not really sure if it's positive or negative.
Okay, well, you know, that would warrant a little more investigation, don't you think? That way you would have a defining feature to your whole encounter, and that we could determine whether or not it's going to be harmful to you or beneficial to you. Right now it just sounds like someone introduced themselves to you.
Oh, okay. They just had this, like, they just were really, really intellectual, more scientific and analytical, but not so much heart or emotion. Yeah. Well, I'm sure that every other species has its scientists as well. You know, there are so many different planets in our solar system. I'm sure that they have a science problem as well. You know, so, you know, just find out a little more about it. If it happens again, I'd be very interested in hearing about it. Okay, I could probably draw a picture of the face and email it to you or something if you want. Okay, you can do that as well, but I'm willing to believe that it almost looks cat-like. Oh. Based upon many of the depictions that I've seen. Okay, well, I guess I'll draw it and see, and I could look at it from an objective point of view and then email it to you. Yeah, I'd be very interested. Okay, thanks. Okay, you're very, very welcome. Thanks for calling in. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Okay. All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, and, you know, that was Elise, and thanks, Elise, for calling in. For those of you that have other questions, I can answer almost anything that you would like to ask, you know, and if I don't know something, you know, I'll at least persevere with you until we come to a path that you can
receive the answer. I'm going to play a song now, and this particular song is one that I wrote for someone that was asking a question like our last chat room question. Because people all the time ask me to do things such as, I don't have it on here. I'll get it on here, and I'll play it for you. Oh, there it is. Okay, and I wrote this because people are always asking me for love spells. Excuse me. I really don't do love spells anymore because I don't think that people understand what a love spell is. In order for a love spell to work, the only person that you can truly put a love spell on is yourself. In other words, you have to teach yourself to love yourself. You have to find something on the inside of you that is actually going to be something you can say is worth loving. And then that love will exude itself out and attract to you someone that is harmonious with you. So what I did was I decided to go ahead and write one, but I wrote it in a song like I do most things. That way, in order for you to do the spell correctly, 1, you have to listen to the song. 2, you have to follow the instructions. 3, you have to exercise patience. And 4, you have to do something and not wait for someone to do something for you. And understand this. I know that there are a lot of people out there that do things like go buy gigantic rose quartzes and hang love talismans about their neck and so forth, trying to say that that's going to attract love to them. You have to create love within yourself. In order for you to do that, you have to find peace within yourself. Once you do that, love has a very fertile ground on which to grow. And then that love that is growing will grow, and it will exude outward. It will emanate itself so that you can attract those things to you that you are seeking. But it always starts with you first. And then you have to understand another thing. There is some truth to great teachers such as Jesus that said, in order for you to enter into the kingdom of heaven, you have to be as a child. Because love is very, very innocent. It is very pure. It is very plain. It is very simple. So you have to exercise that part of yourself and then attract that love to you. And you'll find that it'll be very, very rewarding. So this particular spell is called Love Spell for those of you that have begged me to write a love spell. I did, but you got to be listening in order to make it work. So here it is, and this is in honor of Valentine's Day.
To be
All right, that was Pisces Project doing in their Spellbook album, doing Love Spell. And if you like this music or any of the music that you hear on this show, you may go to Unicorn One Records. That's www.unicorn1records.com and download any of these songs. All right, I have a couple of announcements to make. One is I'm very excited about it, and this actually goes out to some of our listeners in Georgia. And this is Jackson County, Georgia. Now, if you own a home business in Jackson County, Georgia, or in the surrounding area, this is an awesome opportunity to get your name out and your products out to the people in the area. What we're talking about here is the Get the Fever Business Expo. This is a family event, and there will be lots of special guests there, including Sonia Thompson from The Walking Dead. Sonia will be there with autographed gear and T-shirts. She will be answering any of the questions that you, in regards to how to get into the acting business. Also, Shortcut Entertainment will be there with a clown. Now, there are 30 spaces left. So for those of you that are out there listening to me right now, you need to get your spaces here. Okay, you need to go ahead and get those spaces. There are only 30 left. Okay, now the current vendors that are participating include Jewelry and Candles, Party Light, Origami Owl, Mary Kay, the Pink Zebra, just to name a few. Now, this event is scheduled for March 1st, 10 to 6 p.m. at the Jefferson County Civic Center. For more information, please contact Marie Thompson at 706-202-5787. That is 706-202-5787. I think this is going to be a marvelous event, and we really do appreciate you people out there in Georgia listening to the show. So we just wanted to give you something back to help you with your campaign. I know Marie personally. I think that she's a wonderful person, and she is one of those people that is capitalizing on the energy of the Year of the Horse. She has heard me talking about the Year of the Horse and the energy that will support what it is she's doing, and she's having some wonderful success. So those of you that are listening, listen, I really can't stress to you enough the importance of capitalizing off of this energy to start your new goals, and even in career goals. It is a perfect time. And as you see, Marie is one of the people leading the pack. So good luck to you, Marie, and I know that you'll get a lot of prosperous returns. All right, let's go back to our chat room to see if we have any questions. What do you got for me?
Well, we're currently talking about black seed, and there's a question, black seed oil, and there's a question in the chat room that there's a person is asking, I am interested in black seeds and black seed oil. Can you say a little about this herb? Did you know that the government is blocking purchase of the whole seed? Why would that be?
Well, usually when that happens, it's because they're helpful, and they will help people on a massive level. And when people start getting help from natural sources, they tend not to go to the chemical sources, which causes a huge ripple in the pharmacology department and in our society. So I think, if anything, that's why. This particular thing that you're talking about, the black seed, I'm not entirely familiar with. I have actually heard some things about it, but whether or not it's an actual safe thing, I can't tell you one way or another, because we love to get on fads and bandwagons, but I've heard some good things about this. I can only tell you that you need to find out for yourself what it can do for you personally. But please, be safe doing what it is that you're doing, okay? Just be safe doing what you're doing. If the government is blocking it, they may have a good reason, they may have a bad reason. Most of the time, when the government comes out and says things such as, this is bad for you, you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt, because they've also said things are good for us that are not. Remember, we still have the sale of cigarettes and tobacco, knowing that it has all of the chemicals in it that causes people to get sick. So they're allowing that. So you kind of have to take what they say with a grain of salt. Now, if you know that you're the type of person that has an addictive personality, or the type of person that can be a little bit reckless with things, I suggest that you back up until you know enough about that. Because if you're asking me about black seeds, that means you do not know enough. Okay? So do as much research as you possibly can before you decide to deal with something of this nature, okay?
Apparently it's a very good healing agent. It's
so I've heard.
For a lot of treatments for asthma and autoimmune problems.
Yeah, but see, I know that when I had to deal with medical things, I was treated very good and it worked for me. But, you know, when you're experimenting with something new, you need to know as much as you possibly can about it. So I can't, in good conscience, you know, endorse this black seed thing, but what I can tell you is at least find out about it. Don't let someone just shut you down because they think that they know more than you, okay? Just go out and do some more research. Find out as much as you can. And if you find out that it's helpful to you, then by all means. Understand that I'm under certain constraints to say and certain responsibilities to say, listen, if you're trying to deal with something that can be determined as a drug, you would best be served by listening to those that are professional that bear the name doctor, okay, or physicist or something like that. You know, you're asking me, and I can give you my opinion, which means you got to learn about everything so that you can know what you're trying. On the responsible level, I have to tell you, I'm not one that endorses anything that's going to be harmful to someone or even bears the possibility of it. Okay, so I will always tell a person, listen to your doctor. If your doctor tells you to do something, it's better that you do. You know, if he tells you not to do something, it's probably better that you don't. Okay, so at the same time, I think that there are many, many possibilities, and I consider all avenues of healing. Do you understand me? For those of you that do have ears to hear, you hear what I'm saying. Okay? Consider all avenues. All right. I hope that does help you. All right. What have we got?
We just have a response from our Expo advertisement, and they said, Tim said, Z, you are awesome. Love the advertisement. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, I like what you're doing, so I hope that a lot of people turn out, and if this little plug helps you, I'm more than honored to do so. You're a great person, and I understand exactly what you all are doing, and I really do appreciate it, and I'm sure that the spiritual community and the reality community out there will appreciate it as well. All right. Now, for those of you that would like to call in with any concerns that you have, I am opening the floor for that. You can call us at 718-664-9638. Again, 718-664-9638. Now, what we're going to do is just go to a brief station break so that other people can so that everyone can get a little more information. And you're on the air with me. I'm Uhura Z. You're alive, and this is Ask the Unicorn.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn with Uhura Z. DeLiza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Uhura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. If you have an issue you'd like to discuss with Uhura in more detail, he offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. Uhura also teaches private classes online using Skype video. For more information, visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics at www.unicorn-cove.com. And now back to Ask the Unicorn.
right, that was Athanatos. That is Pisces Project performing Athanatos, and that song was done in honor of someone who I called my spiritual mother, and that is Athena, the goddess Athena. I hope you all enjoyed it. All right, we are back again, and we're going to go to the phone lines, and I have someone waiting, and this is
Amy.
Amy. How are you, Amy?
I'm good.
Good.
Sounds like you're having fun.
Would
you mind if I ask you? Yeah. Would you mind if I ask a question about something you were talking about a couple weeks ago?
Certainly.
About,
go right
awareness.
ahead.
My awareness has increased, especially this last year. But whenever I go anywhere, I'm feeling like people will bump into me, and it's almost like an electric shock, but they don't feel anything, and it's increasingly irritating. Does it mean I'm ungrounded or what?
Well, well, it's like you said. You experienced a growth spurt, and because of that, your sensitivities have raised. Now, what that causes is just kind of a little bit of an agitation. So I'm going to submit to you that it's not necessarily that you're irritated, you're just agitated. Okay? Now, it's kind of like you constantly get little shocks, and those shocks just kind of, agitate you, and you're wondering why. With anyone else that goes through a growth spurt, whenever you do that, you develop new sensitivities that cause you to be hypersensitive from time to time. Do you understand? So that other person doesn't feel that, like you said, and you can't really expect them to feel that. Most people walk around kind of unaware, you know what I mean? You go into a shopping, beg pardon?
Sorry. I mean, I used to feel sort of numb a lot of the time.
Okay.
But
yeah,
that's gone away, but...
Well, it's like what I said. You develop new sensitivities, and those things can spike from time to time. And that's really all it is. What you have to do is things of a grounding nature. Just get up and do some work, do some physical work, do something that's going to calm you down and calm your energy down. Put all of that energy into actually doing something. The only time that you get really hypersensitive like that is when you're not doing anything. Okay? So try not to just sit idle. Do you hear what I'm saying? And if you're going to go for a walk and people bump into you, try to be aware of them and see where they're coming before they actually do make it there. Okay? Like if you see them coming, they're walking on a trajectory, try to get yourself out of the way for a little bit until you get past this that little sensitivity spike. And I know that it will help you out. There are some things and perhaps it's time for me to start showing you some Tai Chi.
Okay.
And that way you'll be able to deal with what you're going through.
Okay. On days if I do Tai Chi and then go somewhere, it's even more so.
You get more sensitive? Then we need to really get your physical energy under wraps. It's like what I said. And I've talked to you before about doing things on a physical level. So you must not be doing enough. So, you need to do something on a physical level to keep you grounded. Otherwise, you walk around kind of like a live wire. Okay? So
I have been working out, but I guess not enough.
Well, we can all say that.
Yeah.
So just do a little more. Make sure that you're doing those things that I've instructed you. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Make sure you're getting enough to eat. Make sure you're properly hydrating, doing some exercise, and you're getting some spiritual inference into your life. Okay? These things are very, very important. If you follow that, you'll be fine. Now, even in this growth period, you just kind of have to do those things, some of the things that I've given to you a while ago to do, which is, that one little simple thing. I now exercise from my mind all evil thought, all jealousy, suspicion, and hate, and I am filled with the pure light of divine love. And you need to repeat that until that agitation goes away. It will. You're just in an identity transformation right now.
Okay. Well, sometimes I say that practically all day, and it does help somewhat, but never really goes away.
Well, it's what I told you. It's not that things ever go away. You just get better.
Okay.
You've got to keep applying things. And if you need a little extra help, you can always come in and talk to me about it. I'll be more than willing to give you some more work if you need some. And that I'm all about that. So if you need a little more physical discipline, I will be more than happy to assist you in your need.
It's one of your favorite things. Okay. All right. Thanks, V.
All right. No problem. You have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. That was Amy, and we do appreciate her calling in. Oh, no. Is there anything in the chat room?
Yeah, we have a question from Steffi pertaining to last week's show. Z, what is the cardinal rule of light that you spoke of? Thank you.
That cardinal rule of light is that you do not get to violate another person's free will. Okay? You must do everything in order to keep the sanctity of a person's free will. Okay? That means you're not allowed, if you do have some telepathic ability or psychic ability, you are not allowed under a universal rule of light to invade a person's mind. In other words, to go into their head and start reading their thought. That's something you just don't do. The sanctity of a person's mind is their own, and is the last refuge that we have, that all human beings have, is their mind. So unless you have to, and there have been several cases where I had to go and talk to a person that was in a coma to try to talk them back, and I succeeded. That's different. That's an emergency case. But you do not get to just randomly go around reading a person's mind or invading a person's mind or trying to get your consciousness into a person's mind. Those of you that have the ability to do remote viewing, you seriously need to watch yourself, because that can be a violation of free will. And you will most definitely be penalized for doing such a thing. On the other end, understand this. If there's an emergency that you can help someone and they can't really express themselves or they can't get their thoughts out, that's totally different. But the cardinal rule is, and I have to say it this way, forgive me, but thou shalt not violate another being's free will. That is the cardinal rule of light. There are those that are underneath, and many people that are Wiccans, my brothers and sisters that are Wiccan, can tell you this: do what thou wilt, but harm none. That means none. That doesn't mean except for those people that you get mad at, or except for those people that you don't like, or except for those people you don't agree with. That means none. Because a lot of times they'll tell you that it'll come back to you 3 times 3. That's not necessarily the case. It'll actually come back to you by the power of 10. And that's not a good thing to have to go through. So there are a lot of cardinal rules, but the number one cardinal rule of light is you will not violate another being's free will. Okay, and if you need that explained to you a little more, I'll be more than happy to do that. I hope that helps you out. Thank you for your question. That's very important. All right, what have you got next?
Well, we're trying to convince one of our chat room guests to call in. She had...
Don't try to convince her to call in. If she doesn't want to call in, she doesn't have to.
It's a great experience. She was talking about, she says, hello, Ahura. I just had an experience on the way home. I just saw 5 bright red lights in a diamond formation. They gradually separated and disappeared. I drove in their direction, and one appeared and hovered around me. She said, I rolled down my window and I said, I see you. It hovered near me for about 5 minutes, spiraled, and moved away. There was no sound from this object. Can Ahura tell me what he thinks it might have been?
I don't think I have to tell you. That was obviously some type of extraterrestrial being that was actually, or some type of being that decided to introduce themselves to you. You didn't come under any harm. See if there's anything that's a little different. If you're still driving, what I might suggest for you to do is to pull over and just kind of take inventory of things. Okay, was there a time differentiation? Are there any markings on you or on your car or on the windshield or someplace? Did you experience some type of an anomaly besides that? besides the lights, and are they still around? Or have you gotten hints of them? Because usually when something like that happens, there are telltale signs. Not only that, it's usually recurring. So maybe there's something that you usually get a feeling with it, okay, or a sound or a sensation, or maybe you're thinking something and it happened at that particular moment. So take an inventory and then let us know as it's going on. Now, if you don't feel comfortable in calling, don't worry, I won't tell anybody except for the people that are listening. But it sounds like you're in the middle of an actual experience. And I think that experience is very, very good.
She says, I called my son, so if there was missing time, he would tell me. He looked out of our back door and thought I was crazy. Then it appeared to him, she says. Really?
Interesting. Who is this person?
This is a new listener, Fiona LX.
Oh, I love that name, Fiona.
Yeah, it's your favorite name, Fiona.
Fiona's one of my favorite names. In fact, I have a plant named Fiona.
He has an olive tree that he cherishes and calls her Fiona.
Yeah. So what you might do is, if it appeared to your son as well, that means two of you. Someone should have a camera. Someone get a camera. Okay? And do me a favor, if you're going to take pictures of an experience, you're going to take pictures of an extraterrestrial or an extraterrestrial ship or whatever, try to keep your hand still or use a tripod. That usually does help. But, I can only tell you what I can see of it, and based upon what it is that I'm hearing, you're having an extraterrestrial experience right now.
She's saying he tried to take a picture and it wouldn't show up.
Is that a fact? Yeah, well, that makes sense. Remember, we just got through talking about Mercury retrograde.
It messes up the electronics.
Yeah. And it does mess up things of an electrical nature, so that doesn't surprise me at all. Tell her to keep trying. Eventually the camera will kick in right if it appears to you again. Where are you located, by the way? Where are they located?
I don't know yet. Maybe she'll respond.
Yeah. While you're out there, just please be very, very careful. Okay, don't be reckless, getting all excited about the possibility of a UFO experience.
He said it was moving towards him while he was looking, and she is located in New York City.
New York City. Okay. I've heard a lot about New York just lately. I know that they got, dumped on a lot of snow and so forth. And I talked to someone earlier that was talking about waiting for the weather. That's really, really interesting. See if you can get some more pictures of it and let us know. We'd be more than interested in following up on this. Yeah, this is the second time that we've had a third time now that we've had a extraterrestrial encounter happening just as we're talking to someone.
She's saying, I've seen UFOs before. They were silver orbs. This time it looked like a Merkaba. Do you know what a Merkaba is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I get it. That's pretty interesting. Okay, are they seeing any more of them, or are they just scaling the skies for them?
I'm not sure.
Well, let us know if you're seeing any more while we're actually talking. If there's anybody else out there that is having a UFO encounter or extraterrestrial encounter, would you please call in and let us know, or write to us and let us know what it is that you're going through. We're always interested in things of that particular nature as well. Remember, if it has to do with those beings that are from another dimension or from another space, even from another time, that all falls under the heading of paranormal. And I can probably explain to you what is going on there. I have talked to you about the dimensional curtains that have been thinning out, and because of that, there have been a lot of bleed-through, so to speak, and a lot of things that have passed through those dimensional walls. And you have to already assume and know that we are not alone in this solar system or in this galaxy or universe. And anyone who believes that we're alone is seriously cheating themselves out of a magnificent experience. Okay, what do you got?
She says they left while she was looking, and she will keep us posted.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that, Fiona. That really is one of my favorite names ever. Okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you that have those type of experiences, please feel free to call in. And even talk about some of your experiences. I'm always interested in these particular things because I've had my own close encounters and have them quite frequently, as a matter of fact. And they are always very, very interesting. Usually, things of that nature try to hide themselves behind other things, like there'll be a beautifully clear, burning blue sky, and there's one poof of clouds there. No, that's nothing hiding behind that at all. I do remember one of the most interesting times that I actually saw a vehicle or a vessel, and we were out filming, and this was in the park next to where we were, and it was broad daylight. It was about noon, and we were filming, and I saw something flash, an image, and I turned around, and I got the feeling of being really, really small. That someone was looking at me, and I even drew a picture of that particular vessel that I saw. Kind of looked like a giant beetle, was what it looked like, a giant kind of tan-looking beetle. And I do also understand what they do. If you're not paying enough attention, you'll forget about it, and you'll forget about it almost automatically and just kind of throw it over in the corner as a flash of light or some other type of an anomaly. But in truth, you really did see something. It's just that what they do is project something that causes you to forget or causes you not to place much attention to it. And then you go along, and then somewhere along the line you go, hey, did I really see something? And you've kind of forgotten about it. But being a telepath, I don't just forget about things. If I see them, I saw them, and I know that I've seen them. And that was a pretty powerful experience. For those of you that have those kinds of experiences, I would be very, very willing to hear about them. We don't just talk about ghosts and spirits and things of the future, things of the past, and time machines, although I do love those subjects to talk about because I know a lot about them.
Fiona responded, and she said, yeah, I feel charged with so much adrenaline right now. I felt it knew I was watching it. Yeah,
which is usually one of the effects. You get hyper-adrenalized, and all of a sudden you feel like you can run around a track about 40 times. See if you can use that energy, though. You may have actually experienced a little more than you thought. So if you find anything that is defining, please let me know. I'd be more than interested. Let's see, do we have anything else in the chat room? Awesome. Okay. Now, for those of you that would like to call in, I'm going to give you the number again. That is 718-664-9638. Now, I have another announcement, and this is an announcement I made last week, but I'm going to make it again. And this is for all of you that live in Maine. There is a wonderful place, a person that I know, and her name is Stephanie, and she works at Cosmeticos Spa and Wellness Center. Now, what they do there is they do a lot of different services. They help a person become comfortable and to help them heal themselves. Now, that one of the things they give is a Genote facial and a massage. And then some of the other things are Genote facials, massage, ionic foot detox, reflexology and Reiki healing, hydrodermy facials, skin script and chemical peels, microdermabrasion, IPL laser, infrared sauna, body bronzing, facial eye lifts, Botox, Juvederm, and they even do psychic readings there. And they have spa parties. Now, if you want to reach them, you can look them up online. That is www.cosmeticospa.com or cosmeticos07@yahoo.com. Or you can reach them at 207-650-0007. That is 207-650-0007. Their address is 1 Northeast Road, Route 35, second floor, Standish, Maine. So just go there and let them know that, tell them Z sent you.
And that is Cosmeticos, KOSM like Mary, ETIKOS.com.
And they're wonderful people. I know Stephanie personally. She's a wonderful person, has great hands, and she'll help you out. All right. Do we have anything in the chat room? So we've had a UFO experience, excuse me, I hate saying that. We've had an extraterrestrial experience. We have a lot of people that are experiencing a lot of personal growth and a lot of spiritual growth. And I think that if you have questions and you really want to know the answer to some of these questions, I'd be more than willing to answer you. I appreciate all of our listeners in Georgia and all over the United States. And for those of you that can actually listen all over the world, you are welcome to call in too. I will answer questions from anyone, so long as you're not doing something to be negative. As long as it's all in positivity and you really have the desire to know about the spiritual, to know about the paranormal, to know about the metaphysical, I am here for you. And no question is too wild, so long as you mean what you're asking. And there are only two questions that I refuse to answer, is whether or not someone's going to die and whether or not someone is cheating on someone else. Other than that, everything is fair game. For those of you that don't know this, I also teach classes in psychic development and telepathic development to help you develop your gifts. I also train people in paranormal investigation, how to do it the correct way. I also train people in common sense, which is probably my favorite subject. For those of you that have awakened into a new gift, I can help you develop it. For those of you that need physical training, we can help you develop yourself physically. There are other classes that I teach, such as astrology, numerology, telemetry, circuitry, things of that particular nature, including vibrational frequency, and be more than happy to teach a class. And they could be in group classes, or they can be private classes, or they can be in person or on Skype. Either way. I do not teach for free, however, and this is my living. This is not my hobby. I do this full time. So if you are out there and you need questions, this is my way of giving to my community, which is the world, to help you all come into the new awareness that you're experiencing. All right. I'm going to play another song. And I hope you all enjoy this particular song. It's a favorite of a lot of people. I not only do songs of a very epic nature, I also do kind of fun songs. And this is one of the fun songs that I actually did. And this one here is called Gaia Chant. Now, the thing that I'm using is what's called Gaia Speak, which is a conglomeration of many of the origin languages that there were. It's a very powerful thing, and I hope you all enjoy it. You're on the air live. This is Ask the Unicorn. I'm Uhura Z.
Ayahuasca, Ayahuasca.
All right, that is Gaia Chant by Pisces Project. That song is a shout-out to Annabelle, and I hope you like it. From what I know, that's one of your favorite songs, so I decided to play it for you. Okay. So let's go back to our chat room. We have some other questions. What do we got here?
Debbie Emmons says, thank you for the comments about not going into people's heads without permission. I'm working on a scene. I'm working on a scene for my next novel involving an empath who gains the ability to read thoughts while pregnant. May I use that concept for her to get a little cosmic backlash for misbehaving?
Of course you can. Feel free. If you hear something on the show that you like that will help you, by all means, use it in whatever capacity you can, as long as it's something that will help others. That's what it's for. And she would actually get a little cosmic backlash for doing such a thing, which is something that we all have to be responsible for. Understand that just because you can do something doesn't mean that you always should. Sometimes it shows a bigger person to do things in an orderly fashion. Understand that there are rules. You may have something and see something that is right in front of you to take, but does that mean that you're supposed to take it? Not necessarily. You follow the rules, and the rules say, follow the cardinal rule of light. That way, you'll have to do the right thing, and you'll get the right thing in return. This is the way that I try to live my life. I know that sometimes, we all make mistakes, and I probably have made more mistakes than any of you have. I have very much patience with scoundrels in this world because I was one of the biggest ones, So hopefully we all learn things that we need to learn, and we learn to follow the rules. Okay, what else have you got for me? Anything at all? All right. So that being said, I would like to thank all of you for listening tonight. This has been a wonderful show. We've even had a great experience of someone calling in with an actual extraterrestrial experience going on as we're talking on the show. I always love those, because it's something that's right there candid. For those of you that are listening tonight, please tell your friends and tell your family, tell anybody through this show that you think that this show might help. We can be reached at 718-664-9638. For those of you that would like to comment on things, you can comment on the website, the Ask the Unicorn website. That is www.asktheunicorn.com. Or you can go to Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics, and that is at to email us, that is at info@unicorn-cove.com, or you can go to www.unicorn-cove.com, and you can write your questions in. I'll be more than happy to air them and to say them on the air. If you have something that you'd like to talk about, or you're going through something at the moment that you don't feel too secure about, listen, I will talk to you on the air, and I'll also talk to you at other times. I can also help you via Skype or via email, on the phone. I open many, many avenues for you all to receive help. You are not alone. There are a lot of people on this earth that have magnificent gifts, and I have to say I am one of those people. I've been gifted magnificently, and I've had wonderful teachers. And hopefully you all will give us the opportunity to help you out. What was that?
We do have one last question from Teresa via Facebook. She asks, what are your thoughts on transcendental meditation?
I think the transcendental meditation is marvelous. I mean, I think it works and is very, very wonderful if you do it correctly. But understand something. The whole idea of transcending something should be taken responsibly and used responsibly. I'm not necessarily looking to most people are looking to transcend their lives. In other words, transcend out of this life. I'm not looking to do that. I love my life, and I love the fact that, there is life. Rather than to transcend everything all the time, what you might consider is to transform things. If there's something going on in your life that you need to transcend, wonderful, do that. That reminds me of a old story that I heard once that I'll tell it now. And it's an old story that was relayed to me by one of my teachers, a very powerful story about people that like to be able to transcend things and people who like to be able to transform things. Transcendental meditation, first off, is a good thing. Just make sure that you're remaining very, very grounded in your intentions. However, in this story, there was a person that was talking with an elder. And this person says, how do I transcend trouble? Or how do I get out, how do I get away from people that are just causing me trouble? And do I just, go into a state of meditation, or do I, run away from them? And the elder turned to the person and said, you should consider the hawk. Have you ever watched a hawk fly? Well, what Brother Hawk does is it flies, even though the smaller birds try to harass it and bother it, rather than to turn around and attack those birds, or try to, be fearful of them, what he does is it just flies in a big circle. And that circle goes higher and higher and wider until those birds can't follow anymore. So that's probably what you should think about. Just fly higher and wider and higher and wider until those problems can't follow you anymore. They're not equipped to rise into the light. By doing that, you have transcended the problem without trying to escape. I think that's a very good story. It's helped me in a lot of cases. And I hope that it helps you as well. Transcendental meditation is good, but you have to have a reason. And also, remember, it's not a license to escape. Transcend to transform. Now, do we have anything else at all?
Not that I can see.
All right. With that last lesson, I will leave you all, and we will see you or hear you next week live on Ask the Unicorn. I'm Ahura Z. I really enjoyed all of you, and I hope you all enjoy us. Thank you for listening. See you next week.
You've been listening to Ask the Unicorn with Ahura Z. Deliza. If you have a personal matter you need help with, Ahura offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. He also teaches private classes in an array of subjects online using Skype video. Visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics for more information at www.unicorn-cove.com. If you have a question for Ahura to answer on a future episode of Ask the Unicorn, you can email it to questions@asktheunicorn.com and we'll add it to the list for our next show. Ask the Unicorn broadcasts live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio. Visit our website for more information and to hear archived episodes of our show at www.asktheunicorn.com.
When you don't know, just go and ask for Donio-Do. Ahura Z will journey with you to all the places on
Ready
the
to see
go.
today.
What do you do? And when you don't know, just go and ask for Donio-Do. Ahura Z will journey with you to all the places others won't go.